Okay, so next topic, how to automate post method. So whatever the practice we were doing, we are using the get method only, right? But how to automate post method, apart from that, all the concept are same. Okay, so um, this is the post method. Okay, and we will create a new workspace, like we have already know how to create this data, how executed manually. The same things we will automate using the uh, you know uh, rest assured. Okay, so I'll create a one class, and class name is automate post. Okay, and I will add first all the static import, otherwise it won't be work. So this all are the static import. One is your rest assured, matches, and matches assert. Okay, so I'm importing this all. We required this, and we will use here request a spec builder or response spec builder as well. We already learned previously, correct, right? So now we'll create a before class. Before uh, class, you can write anything, that is fine. And now we will create uh, request spec builder. Request spec builder, object. Same code I am writing. If you want, you can copy paste previous code. Okay, just for practice. Okay, so now request a spec builder. So we have created an object, or we can use the builder pattern here. So I'll directly call set base URI, set base URI. So what is the base URI? So this is the base URI for Postman, the base URI. Okay, then now we will use here add add uh, header. So we have to pass here header as a key value pair, as we already know and we already execute these steps. Still we have not added the new steps for post methods. Okay, so these are the repeated steps. We have already done this because this is the common configuration required to run any test case. Means how means this is your implementation of API. Then I can also set content type. So this is the one of the header types. So we are going to set here content type dot JSON dot JSON. Some of the um, it's having the optional, but some of the mandatory. To better you can add it. So no test failure and dot log, and here we have a log details dot all. Okay, and this is the configuration only we are passing. Apart from that, we will implement in the test, and we will use rest assured dot default request specification. So I'm using default request specification, and we will use the same request spec builder dot build. Okay, so you guys can see now we have to give a semicolon because this is for request spec builder. And now We will implement response spec builder, common validation will do. Okay, so response spec builder equal to new response spec builder. Here also we will use a builder concept. So expect a status code 200 and expect, we can use the same expect content type JSON. So you can, this is for your um, because response side also return type is JSON, or in request also this is the JSON type. So this is the one validation we are doing here also, and we'll give the logs. Okay, so logs, so log details, so it will logs all your request and response. If you want, you can just comment and see what is happening. Log will not display. And now request uh, sorry, rest assured, rest assured dot response spec specification equal to, you have to guys, so this is the coding standard. It will work, but this is not good practice. Okay, so you have to give the proper naming convention. So only few things are common here, but in real time many configurations are there as the method you could see. Okay, some of the, you know, will implement some real time API also. This is also real time, but we'll go for the more complex where the authorization will come auth 2.0. Now I will write the test to create a new workspace. Whatever the test I have executed, that is for the get method. And now we will create a new workspace. Okay, validate post, sorry, request. Okay, so guys, now first of all you have to pass, you know, request body, right? So now this is the simple test, but in the real time we do not pass like this. This is the request payload. Okay, so this is our request payload. So I'll change the name, guys. So I'm just defining in one variable. Okay, and it will come automatically this all the things in this format. So now this is the name. I'm just changing the name workspace 15 10 2025. Okay, so just I have changed this, name. And now guys, we will write given, then here guys in the given we are passing the body. Okay, body method, and we will pass directly. You can pass here, but I store here, you can pass here body. We are passing the request body, then when, so here we will use post method. Okay, post method. So in the post method, right, so you have to pass this endpoint, and now you can see we have passed this endpoint. And now we will write the same code, then assert that. Then here we are validating. If you remember, we have already validated this, but here I'm using the hamcrest again for the validation. So I will just first validate workspace name. Okay, so workspace, so how we can find workspace dot name, this is the path, and we have a equal method. Okay, equal to, sorry, equal to method, and here this is our workspace, correct, right? This is the workspace. Another validation, when you will create a this workspace, it will create a one id. Okay, you can see it will create this id. So we have a many website where you can use here some regular expression. Okay, many I think I not sure in ppt I mention or not. Many I means applications are there, you can create it, but little bit I will explain you. So you can see that according to the format we have a some number id, it's how returning and how to validate this. You can see we have a some number, then lowercase, uppercase, and we have a some special character. So now how to validate this id? So again you can see, you can here you can validate multiple things in one pass. Okay, so I'm going to pass another validation, that is called workspace dot id, and here I will use matchers matcher pattern. So this inside this matcher pattern we will pass, you can see what the patterns we have. So we have a up lowercase a to z. So if you will do on the chat gpt, write the regular expression, or in the google also will get it, but how to write it? So as per the pattern we will pass it. So we have a lowercase, so I'm just passing lowercase a to z. Then in that pattern we have a number also 0 to 9, and we'll give one more happen. And here this is the length. I think this is the length. If we will check the length, what is the length size it will. So the character of the length. Okay, so this is how you can pass the regular expression, but you can get the many website as per the pattern it will create a regular expression for you. Okay, so now you can see in this test we are automating the post method with the help of request spec builder, response spec builder, the what we have learned in the last session. And now uh, this is we are passing the payload, and here in place of get we are using the post method, and we'll try to execute this. Okay, so you guys can see this workspace is created, and you can see new id is created and test is passed. You can just recheck, or you can add this test later here, is it created or not. Okay, so you can just check, cross check manually just for verification, and you can see from today date I have created this workspace, and workspace is created. Okay, so same test you can write in the non bbd format. So this is the bbd format. Okay, if you remember, we have written the test cases in the both format, because what the company is following you have to follow, but best practice to write in the I can say in uh, bbd format. Okay, so the implementation of, because no need to add this, but I'm adding you because in an interview you should not have any confusion, but you can try to write the test case, okay, in BBT format for you should not have a more confusion. Validate post request in non BBT. Okay, so now, so guys, I'll just copy paste some of the things. So this is the same. I will just change the workspace name. Okay, so here I am changing this workspace name. I'm just saying this is for non BBT. Okay, these are the changes I have. And when you are writing in non BBT format, so response will return the response. So in place of in place of given, we can also use with the method. Okay, then we have a body. If you want, you can skip this example, guys. If you just for your knowledge purpose, I am adding because I told you, right, multiple ways we can write. The rest is your test. Depend upon, you can, if you know one way first, that is fine, because you can tell to interviewer, I am following the same, but you should have a knowledge. Okay, because they will also check how much your depth knowledge we have. In place of given, I have used with method, and body we are passing the same. And now here after body and directly here we will pass, because we don't have a here given when and then, that is called BBD, right? So then we will directly use post method here. Okay, post method, and you can pass this one. I'll just copy this. Here validation is different because I will return here I will return here response, then we can access, because previously we have used, right, hamcrest one, and you can see hamcrest is also easy to call when you are using non BBT, sorry, BBT format, and it is the more readable as compared to non BBT. Okay, response. So response is your interface. Am I doing any mistakes here? I missed that dot. Okay, and now we will use assert assert that and response uh, dot. Here we are passing, this is called, let me type this code, then I will explain you. Okay, this is called generic. Whatever we are passing in the conical bracket, this is called generic. And again we have a method. You can see this is the path is your method, and you can see the parameter what they are accepting. They are accepting a string path or a string argument. So we have to pass both side the string. What is the string path? Means a string path and a string argument, actual and expected, like how we have passed previously. Okay, so here so what we can do here, I'll just, this is your path, this is the path, right? This is your actual value. Okay, and you have to also, because here also I'm using the hamcrest, also using the assert equal to. Okay, and here we are passing this one because I changed this workspace. So this is the one validation we have added for workspace name. And let me as your base guys how you are validating, but at least you have to have a basics. If someone will ask you the cross question, so I'm validating ID, and here uh, in place of um, this I'm just using matchers. Okay, I'm using this matchers. Okay, so this is the non-BBT format. Okay, so anyone explain me what is this? What is this? Hmm? What is this? Guys, this is called generic. Okay, understood, right? This is called generic. We are defining means we are passing the argument value as a string. Okay, if we will not define, I think it will also work. I'm not sure. You can see I'm not getting any error, right? But this is the standard way. Okay, to define object class type. Okay, so let me show you one. So from coding practice you guys can do from Java concept of the day. And if you will go for map, okay, so I'll just going through if I'm finding any. So did you observe that they are defining this conical bracket? Why? Because we are defining the object what we are passing, those objects are a string type. So this is called generic, and this is the standard way to define the object type what you are passing. Okay, understood, right? So yes, so now let me execute this. I commented first one and let me execute. Is it executed, right? Okay, so you can see now so this is the ID, and just check this because I have changed the workspace name now. So you can see now actually I changed only this one. So this is the workspace non-BBT. So this is how you can write your test, I can say, in non-BBT format. Okay, so now how to automate post method non-BBT. Okay, and how to automate put method. So now we have automated post method, and now we are going to automate put method. See, if you know basics concept of the API testing, like what we have a theory, API, types of the API, HTTP, and how to create a data using the Postman API, Postman tools. And now we are executing all this with all the method type. Okay, 90% in the interview they will ask you the same thing, and they will also check your little bit framework. Okay, API testing I'm talking about. If they having the core part for development, then we will go they will go in the depth in depth for everything, but you know, just 60 to 70% they will check your programming skills, and 40% your framework like Selenium, rest assured frameworks, hands-on practice, like they will check you, and tools, Git and Jenkins basics, they will ask you. That's all. This is the interview. In the interview we'll get like this. Okay, so how to automate put method. So we have already data for put method, you can see. So now okay, I think it was not working or what, because we have used the different one. Okay, anyways, we'll try to use the same. Okay, so now just know guys how to write the code for all the types of the HTTP methods. This is very important, and basic checks for the interviewers. Okay, so even you should not worry about to remember all the code, just basics code you remember. Okay, understood, right? Remember in the sense of you have understanding also. Okay, so I'm creating another method. Okay, validate put request. Okay, and first of all, for put method you should know ID, right? uh, i I think I have replaced this. Anyways, no, I think I was going for the different I think patch one. Okay, so you guys can see, and yeah, 1 second, I'll do one thing guys. So I need to get this ID. Oh, okay, I'll do one thing, I will get this ID. Okay, because this ID is required now. 1 second. I have changed this. Okay, anyways, this is the same. Okay, and here, okay, let me write in the code. Okay, otherwise again the data will mismatch. So first of all, I'm going for this ID. Okay, this workspace change, not for previous one. So first of all, I will define the ID, because put means you are going to update the existing resources. So string workspace ID, and this is your workspace ID. Okay, and now you have to pass the body also. So I'll do one thing, because I'm updating this one what we have created. Okay, this workspace I'm writing in the BBD format, and you should also practice on the almost code on the BBD format. Okay, that is more readable, okay, as compared to non-BBD. So here, okay, so what I can do, I'm just adding non-BBD. I'm just changing the existing name to put. Okay, so now I have just changed the existing workspace, because this ID already know. And now we will write the code given dot body. Here you can pass the payload. Payload dot when dot put dot. Okay, and so here guys, we have to pass the ID. Okay, so because if you will go here now, you have to pass this one, right? So now you have to pass in the put method this id. Okay, so what I can do, I have to copy it till here. Okay, because directly I'm not passing the value. Okay, if you want to change, you can change it, but in the real time, no, there is no touch for manual thing. Everything will be automated. Okay, those all the things you'll learn slowly. Okay, so I'm just passing here, and now you can directly pass your hard coded value, but I already defined this, you can see, as a variable. Okay, so if you want to change, you can directly change, otherwise directly you have to change here, or this variable is coming from in the different resource also. So now I'm just passing this one, this variable, instead of hard coded. Okay, understood, right? So now the put method, and apart from that everything is same. Then dot log dot assert log dot all. Then we will use assert that. Then here guys, I will validate one more thing. Okay, so validation is same, because id. So here we'll validate. Okay, name. So name is, we are going to changing this name, so this is the expected value. id, any id will create, this is the common validation. Because of this regular expression, any id will validate, but we can also validate the id, right, which where you are, uh, means I can, means just make sure same id is returning. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so workspace id. So guys, I'm just validating this id, it is returning what the changes we are doing. If you don't, if you don't want, you can skip also, but this is also one validation is required. Equal to, this is coming from our response while hitting the request, and this is the expected one, means the validation changes you are doing in this, and it should return the same id. Okay, so put method means we are just, what we can say, updating the existing resources. So let me execute. Okay, so now we can see this is working fine, and you can just validate is it updated or not. People who is not attending rest assured class, they will understand the value when they will start to interview, because in the interview nowadays day, the interviewer is looking for you have a full stack automation testing knowledge, and you are very good in the coding. Okay, and you can see guys, this is also updated. Okay, the put method we have already executed, and what else we have. Okay, so you can see the data is ready, and we are going very fast and easy to automate. Understood, right? But your data is not ready, then you will struggle. Understood, right? So the first thing in API testing, not only API as a testers. If we have a proper data na, then you will enjoy in your testing. But if you don't have a proper data, then you will struggle. So now you can, and we can also delete this. So we have a delete request, so it won't be take much time for delete one. Okay, so we will also delete. So we have a direct delete method. Okay, so let me, these are the basics into inflow for API, and 90% in the interview they will ask you this level of question. Okay, and you can see after understanding it is a very easy to write the code. Okay, because all are the methods, only if you will practice 1 and 2 times you can easily write this code. Okay, void and validate delete. So I'm writing bbds style. If you want you can skip this, no issue. Just you can then validate delete method. So what you have to delete, you have to delete the, see directly you cannot jump for the automation. Check first in the delete, right? So what you want to delete? I want to delete this workspace. Okay, so I have to define this workspace ID and I have to pass it. So again I am defining this workspace ID as a variable. So this is your workspace ID which is want to delete this ID, and I want to delete this. Okay, then we have a given method. Given, and one more thing guys, if you want you can directly, or we have a one standard way. Actually technically this is called path parameter. Okay, so either you can directly pass it or you can use the path parameter. Even I will explain you. Understood, right? So you can see guys, here we have a three part. Okay, this is called base URI. If you will see in the automation, we are passing everything in the different places. And after this, we have a endpoint. You can understand endpoint is a module type. This is the collection and workspace. And again, we have another part. This is called path parameters. Okay. So slowly, when you will observe this API endpoint, complete base URI, you can say endpoint. Directly people are saying the endpoint, but we have a three part here. Okay, so here I will explain you more about of path parameter, but I just, you can see we have a method called path param, and here we are passing this path param. Okay, so it will accept key value. Okay, so simply where I reached, this is the key and this is the value. Okay, so the path parameter, and now we will call delete method. So when dot delete, so we have a delete method, and you can see here we are passing, let me copy this, we should have understanding. Here we are passing this value. Okay, so from here to here fine, but this is right, we have defined as a path parameter. So as a standard way, just we are going to more do the things in the more standard way. Okay, because those parameters and those value will be not hard coded in your framework, and you can pass this variable. Okay, either you can pass directly, but this is the standard way to writing the using the path parameter. So whatever the id, see this will change only, right? This code will not change. Okay, suppose you have written 500 test cases, but what happened, all the 500 test cases you have to edit this, but this value is coming from external source, we cannot define here. Understood, right? Got it right? So this one will not change, your test will not change. That's why we are have this all the methods concept. To do this all the things we can pass as a more dynamic way. Okay, so then delete, then we have a then we have a log dot all, and we have assert that dot. So guys, here we are deleting workspace, so body we can use the same. We are validating this workspace. Okay, sorry, workspace id space dot id. Actually it should only be have a valid, it will also, let me show you, if we will delete, right, it will return some id also. That is what we are validating. Okay, we are not validating id, we are validating the pattern of id, not id, because this id we are going to delete it. When you will run the manually, you will understand. We have a matcher pattern, and you can pass the same a to z 0 to 9 9. Okay, and now this is the length of id, length of id 36 and dollar. That's all guys. So we are deleting this, and let me run this, let me comment the previous code. I think I already commented. Okay, and let me run this. What we were, I was trying to say, when this will delete, right, this will also return the id, but this is the different id, this is the validation part of the delete method. So when you will check this workspace id, now you can see it must be deleted. Okay, so now you can check, you can add this code also. Okay, you can see manually I am just going and checking in the postman. After executing this code, you can just create one more methods for get method and call here in the this validation, and you can add this validation. Oh, after deleting this, just you can write this common instance not found error. And how to validate the same thing, right? You can use the assert hamcrest error dot name error dot message, and you can pass the expected one. So no need to manually you have to um, test it. You can write one more code, or one create a one methods for the validation, and you can call it here. Okay,